here is right. So mic check. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Cool. Sounds good. As always, we gotta do a little mic check ahead of time. Make sure everything's good. And I'm gonna keep my hands off the buttons once I get it all set. Y'all know how technology is over here. All right. What's up, sis? How you doing, Almond Eyes?
Hi there.
Always got you in the chat. Always appreciated. All right, everybody. All right, everybody who is out there, please hit the like, subscribe, hit the damn like button respectfully. We're gonna get started here in just a sec. Give me 1 minute. I just want to make sure I got all my links. All my links are linking. Hey, good evening, Milani. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Tonight is a show for guys. Tonight is a show for the gentlemen. Everyone is welcome, of course. But we are going to, we're focusing on Men's Mental Health Month. I apologize to everyone that it's taken me to almost the end of the month to get to this. I hope to get a two-parter done before month's end to share with everybody my thoughts this year. Last year, I did a show, which was a show standing in solidarity with Men's Mental Health Month, and it was a silent show for a reason, because of the challenges that men do face as far as their mental health is concerned. So for this year, I'm gonna go all over the spectrum. I've got a few different angles I want to approach for the guys, for my brothers from other mothers. Give me 1 second here. One more link to set up. Let's mute that. All right, y'all. I think we're good to go. Oh, come on. No technical issues. We're not doing that tonight. All right, y'all. We good. Bronze Flat Power God, salute. My brother, thank you for joining me. Let's go. Okay. The girl them skill out chick. Thunderball, some give it up, some give it up, some give it up to our girls. 5 billion and 40 naughty shorty. Baby girl, all my girls, all my girls. Thunderball say, well, woman, the way the time cold, I wanna be keeping you warm. I got the right temperature to shelter you from the storm. Hold on, girl, I got the right tactics to turn you on. And girl, I'm in a papa, you can be the mom. Right. So before we get started, just wanted to pop this up. I found this interesting. It's been a meme that's been floating around for a while, a quote. And of course, I had to adjust it to make it a little more relevant. As you see there on the right, you got baby culture circa 1976. But toxic masculinity. 43% of boys are raised by single mothers, 78% of teachers are female. So close to 50% of boys have 100% feminine influence at home and 80% feminine influence at school. Toxic masculinity isn't the problem. The lack of masculinity is. I find that a little thought provoking. I think it's something that we can all reflect on, maybe look into, especially as men. Um, Growing up, I can definitely say that there was an absolute lack of black male figures in my impressionable years as far as educators. Matter of fact, growing up in the suburbs of Cleveland, the coaches were all white. And then I think got into the female coach arena there for a while as well, or gym teachers. So there was definite lack of black male images. Um, I did have a few black female teachers, so as far as equality was concerned, there was a presence. Never forget Miss Foster. I'll never forget her. I had the biggest crush on her when I was in elementary school. I think we all had one of those. But I think that's food for thought for us as men, especially the young brothers that are out there. If you haven't found your frontier yet, if you haven't found what it is that you want to latch onto for the future, for your future, leadership in the arena of education very well may be something to look at. So, food for thought, food for thought. So what's up, everybody? Sakafet. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me, all my beautiful people from around the world. What's good, twin? I'm glad to see you. Yeah, that's the baby twin up there. That's me, circa 1976. I want to welcome everybody to the show as always. Thank you so much for joining me. See who we got out here this evening. Twin Lando Bando, my old homie. Old high school homie. What's up, man? Glad to see you. Bronze Flat. Glad to see you out here tonight, this evening. Thank you so much. Milani, how you doing? I love the avatar. I absolutely love the avatar. What's up, sis? My dance partner in the chat. How you doing, Almond Eyes? Glad to see you. always the first on the scene too with the hey y'all. What's good, Killer? My cousin from Ohio. How is the heat where you're at? Down here, it's starting to level off. Starting to feel pretty good down here. I wish I could turn the air conditioning off though. The air conditioning has been giving me boogers. I'd love to turn that mess off, but you know how it is. I gotta stay cool. All right, give me 1 second. So what's everybody up to tonight? How's everybody doing? We got 3 things to go through this evening. I'm gonna start off with one here. I'm gonna start off with a new face on the scene. Some of you may be familiar with him. That's Dr. Elam. I got him all over. My streams, and you'll see a couple split streams out there. He is the final boss of dating, and the thing is, I've been watching him for multiple reasons. He has multiple disciplines, so he not only works in mental health but also in dentistry. And then, as I pointed out, if you didn't watch the Final Boss series, I pointed it out, a lot of his sensibilities when it comes to dating and relationships with women. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it reflects my own sensibilities. So I was absolutely caught off guard when I seen this guy. As mentioned, as mentioned in my previous streams, I caught him on somebody else's. I don't remember what it was. It might have been another content creator trying to poke holes in his behaviors and whatnot. But I caught a snippet of him on the Pop the Balloon show. So I had to do my own investigation. And y'all know I hate those dating shows. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. They are grifts. They are just trash. I can't stand it. Kendra, G, Ashley, on down the line, they are just fodder to point and laugh at. That's it. So yeah, I don't watch them, but I was absolutely caught off guard when I caught this dude. All right. So that aside, first time I seen him was on Pop the Balloon episode 2, I believe, and then he showed up in like episode 9 or something. It's all in the I Got Time stream where I went ham on dating and my perceptions. But in between doing my research, I found that the brother had a lot to say about mental health. He actually has a series on the Tickety Talk. Go check him out, Dr. Elam. He has a series for patient as well as colleague health. So, being Men's Mental Health Month, I pulled one of his. I want to share with you guys this evening. Let's get into it.
Here is a touchy subject for a lot of people, but I want to dive into it. But next time you go into your dental office, dentists are the second most likely professions to commit suicide.
Yep.
Why is that?
Fair
Dentists
use,
are afraid
fair
of
use.
being sued. There's a negative perception of dentists out there. There's a lot of pressure associated with running a small business. And patients also have a lot of complaints. So all of these things contribute to it. I believe that dentists, and most people in general, are not taught how to regulate their emotions. Imagine you're a dentist, you're working 5 days a week, you have your small practice. Patients come in and they're scared, they're in pain, don't know what's going on, hold a little bit of resentment towards you because you're the one making the decision, the dentist. This leads to a high suicide rate. Unless you are regulating your emotions, you do not have the power to process all that comes with dealing with a day as a dentist. My advice to all the dentists out there, take time for yourself. Get a therapist where you can have confidence that you can process the emotions that you're having every day. And on the patient side, patient empowerment is really important because if you're able to come in, help the dentist, help you, then there will be a lot better cohesion when it comes to treatment planning. I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button, and until next time.
All right, we're gonna stop with that. Stop there. But you know, shout out and applause again to Dr. Elam. He continues to impress me as a gentleman, and a scholar. As a gentleman, outside of his proclivities in the dating space, and then the mirror of my own mannerisms, mannerisms in dating, where we do draw similar parallels. So yes, definitely shout out to him, especially on the mental health aspect of things. As you heard there, he did mention therapy, and that's something that I talk about here on this channel. I do believe highly in therapy. We all need someone outside of our current situations and current self to talk to. Okay, sometimes the situations we're dealing with are not directly social. Sometimes they're within ourselves, and we need someone outside of ourselves to talk to. I've been to therapy. I've been to two different therapists because I shopped around and I wanted to find someone who would be a friend and understand what it was that I needed. So I do recommend, if you have those resources available to you, free or otherwise, take advantage of it. We all need someone. All right. And in the case of medicine, in the Black community, there is a lot of both stigma as well as lack of um, medical care, or seeking medical care, or seeking effective medical care, or not knowing what to do. The base thing you want to do is build a relationship first. Don't start visiting doctors when you're already broken. Find a doctor to build a relationship with first. I know it's easier said than done, but that's the best advice I can offer you. Find that primary care physician that will be somebody that will be a friend, and establish that first. Just like you go to a job interview and someone interviews you to make sure that you are the right candidate for a position, you should be interviewing your doctors and dentists before you go in there and say, hey, yo, my pinky hurts. Hey, yo, look at my tooth. I mean, I'm just putting it out there as a gem that worked for me. Okay. This is something that worked for me. So I just want to drop that. Yeah, right. Yeah, see, we don't dance under rainbows over here on this channel. This is Men's Mental Health Month, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing rainbow dances. Last year, this is your boy. That's a horrible haircut, by the way. Horrible haircut. But that's your boy. Um, Last year I dropped this one, just a video only, video only. We're gonna get into a little bit about self maximizing in a little bit here. At the end, we're gonna do some home math at the end, but it's home math for gentlemen, because don't forget, y'all are hoes too. So we're gonna get into the home math at the end. But with the self maximizing piece, there is a look at yourself in the mirror and make sure that you look good. There's also a look at yourself in the mirror and love yourself that I constantly preach here on the channel. And that is a big part of being a man. That is a big part of where it all starts, is starting with self love, because we're going to get into some discussions about behavior. This is going to get dark very quickly. We're going to go down the road of behaviors, and then we're going to go outside of that discussion, and we're gonna close out with a little fun, right? We're gonna get into the home math and self maximizing, and changing some things about ourselves so that we can have a better outlook in general. All right. And this isn't just for people in my community, brown skin, melanated, and darker. This is for everybody. I got brothers and fellas and cousins and brothers, all over the place, of every nationality, every ethnic background. So this is for all of us, gents. This is for all of us. I do recommend go checking out this video from last year. Hit the like. Your boy's out here doing some work for the community. I love you guys. I hate to love you. Got a little misanthropy, but I do love y'all. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna try to shut up through most of this because there's some heavy stuff here. And you know, before we get into this, I just want to say that, we are in a very, very difficult time socially. Um, in my state last night, there was a mass incident, mass um, incident where 10 individuals were harmed in some way, shape, or form. And that probably puts our nation, if I'm not mistaken, according to the statistics, at 236, 237 mass incidents of violence this year. And if I'm not mistaken, the perpetrators are all male. We have a lot of work to do as men. We have a lot of work to do within ourselves. Um, these things will always happen, and Isaac is going to talk about that here shortly. I got to update my description for this stream, by the way, and throw Isaac some kudos, throw him his roses. But um, we as men have a lot of work to do within ourselves, and that's where it starts. We'll get into it, and hopefully between parts 1 and 2, I'm going to help provide some options for the young men out there to kind of steer the ship a little bit and hopefully get us in the right direction or provide a little influence, right? That's what I'm here for, to just share my knowledge, share my experience, and hopefully impart something on you guys. All right, let's get into it. Like I said, I'm going to try to shut up and let Isaac do his thing. So please forgive me as we go along.
My name's Isaac Butterfield, and please watch this entire video before you agree or disagree with me. This is a very heavy video. We don't have mass unaliving events here in Australia. We just don't have them. We're not like other parts of the world. They very rarely happen here. Port Arthur's the worst of the worst that has happened. There's been others that have happened, but Port Arthur's the worst. It's the reason that we don't have guns here in Australia. But only a few weeks ago, we suffered a horrific event, and it captured worldwide attention all over the news. An absolute lunatic attacked and unalived, and I'm saying that not out of disrespect, I'm saying that because YouTube will censor this video if I don't, attacked dozens of people in...
And fair use here, fair use to Isaac and his channel. Again, this is Isaac Butterfield. We'll throw him his roses here shortly. We're going to continue with the video.
A shopping centre, a mall here in Australia, in an area that people feel very, very safe, in a very safe neighbourhood. He attacked them for no reason with a knife and ended many of their lives, including a mother who had a 9-month-old baby, and this just horrendous person even attacked the baby. Craziness. Now, to others all over the world, 6 people dying probably doesn't seem like that much. In America, mass events like this happen all the time, and that's where this gun control debate comes from. But in a country like Australia, who is 1/10 the size of America, 6 is a lot. And since that occurred 3 weeks ago, we have seen more and more carnage happen in our community. A bishop was attacked, and unfortunately, a number of women were also unalived. And I hate saying that word, but you understand why I am. And it's left us in a very, very strange situation. The event that happened in Bondi, where 6 people had their lives taken, many people have speculated, including the police minister, that he targeted women. And that is what this video is about. What do we do about men attacking women? And we are talking a lot about unaliving here. But it's not just that. Obviously, that's the worst case. But events happen during relationships or after relationships have ended, where a man will attack a female in many different cases of domestic violence all over the country. It happens all the time. And we don't have an answer as to how to stop it. Now, whether or not the man in Bondi specifically targeted women, I don't know. All right, he might have just avoided men because maybe that would have stopped his rampage in its tracks. Coincidentally, the person who took his life, an absolute hero, was a female police officer who shot him. And my wife and I have been very much on agreement on this. She shouldn't receive a medal. She shouldn't receive a congratulations. Give her $1 million. We spend money on shit that doesn't need to have any money spent on it all the time. Give her a payout for being a hero. And what comes from all of this is people, women.
I can agree to that. There should be payouts for law enforcement that does great jobs like that. All right, back to that.
Media and a lot of men blaming one group, and that is men. And I want to discuss whether or not that is actually helpful. Because yes, men are the villains here. There's no getting away from that. But does it help to blame men as a gender? If you don't believe me about the amount of people who have been asking men why, here's a short compilation of just some of the videos, the hundreds of videos that I saw over the past 2 weeks asking that very question.
So, question for the girls, because quite frankly, if you're a man in Australia at this point, you need to stay the fuck away from me.
If it's not all men, why the majority of gender-related violence in this country accounts for the majority of them being perpetuated by men? If it's not all men, why are you not actively calling out misogyny, objectification of women, and checking down your peers whenever they're speaking down, treating another woman as an object?
I don't really believe in coincidences, and I find it hard to believe that there was no gender-based motivation, considering that 5 out of the 6 fatally unalived victims were women.
If you're a man, I urge you to ask all the women in your life if they've been raped, assaulted, beaten, followed, scared for their life at any point. It will probably come to a surprise to you that every single woman will come back to you with a story affirming one, if not all, of what I've just said.
Can you imagine if women decided that men deserved death every time we experienced misogyny, being dismissed, dehumanized and degraded because of systemic misogyny? There would be very few men left on the planet.
But I really do want, with the aim of this, to bring awareness to the disproportionate effects of domestic, family and sexual violence on Indigenous, queer and disabled people, but also really want to be able to use this protest as not just all of us coming together and having a shared collected moment, because that is healing and it does do stuff. I want us to be signing petitions, making change.
It's not all men, it's only some men. It's not a statistic. It's a warning.
Existing as a woman literally becomes more terrifying by the day. And one of the most terrifying aspects of it is the fact that the entire world around us does not seem to want to acknowledge that.
Hundreds of angry women asking men, why are you doing this? Why do you keep doing this? So, I filmed the rest of that video and had it edited and had a look at it, and honestly, I just don't think it's necessary. We know it's not all men. It doesn't need to be said. And I do think that blaming all men, an entire gender, and demanding action from all men is not helpful. I don't think it changes the situation, because most men look at what's happening and think this is absolutely horrific. And we are seeing more and more women killed every single week at the hands of violent men. So no, it's not all men, but it is some men. And that is the problem that we need to find an answer to. I think that blame...
And here's the thing, throughout history, there will always be pieces of shit. And I do believe, I've watched this before, and I do believe he'll hit on this as well. But throughout history, there will always be individuals who are pieces of shit. There will always be individuals who think on the lowest lizard brain level humanly possible, and have no aspirations to be anything bigger than that. And they will commit these heinous acts. They are violent individuals. And there is something mentally wrong with these individuals. So let's get back to this.
Blaming all men and then me saying it's not all men are both meaningless statements, because it doesn't achieve anything.
Right.
All it achieves is two genders arguing back and forth, when in reality we have people that need assistance and we have a problem that needs to be fixed now. We've seen a couple of weeks now of anger and outrage and protests, and rightfully so. But we are still no closer to finding out what we can actually do to stop violent, angry, piece of shit men from attacking and unaliving their partners. And I don't think we'll ever be able to stop it entirely because it's a part of human nature. Psychos exist and there's nothing we can ever do to stop that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he says psychos exist. And psychos are individuals who have issues with their minds. And the unfortunate fact of the matter is, pardon me, from the Reagan administration onward in this country, they dismantled mental health facilities and mental health funding for this nation. So where does that leave us? The other piece of this puzzle as well is that women absolutely have more resources than men do. And it is absolutely, mental health is absolutely weaponized in far more cases against men than it is something that is supported. I've even experienced that from my own family, where they weaponize the fact that I've had to seek counseling for my own problems that I'm working through, recognizing where I am as a man in the world today was weaponized against me as being a fault, a character flaw. A lot more has to be done to support men. A lot more has to be done.
Part of being an animal. Some of us are just horrific fucking bastards. But what can we do right now? What is actual tangible change? After I recorded the original part of this video, I spoke to someone who's very, very close to me, a female, and she told me about some of the horrific things that had happened to her and her friends at the hands of men. And I thought to myself, okay, I can make a video saying, you know, it's not all men, because it's not. Or I can say, okay, here's what we should do. Here's what we could do. Here's how we can try and fix this problem with the limited resources that we as just random dudes have. It's not a men's problem. And I genuinely believe that. It is men committing the crimes. Absolutely. It is a problem, though, for our society to fix. It's a problem for our police to fix and our justice system to fix. It's a problem for people as fathers to fix, as friends to fix, as all of us to fix.
I'm going to stop right there again. I promised you guys I wasn't going to interrupt as much. I'm going to stop right there as he says, fathers. Gentlemen, the most important thing in your life when you have a seed is that seed. Period. No more fuck boys out here. When you have a child, that is your only investment. Your life stops, bro. Oh, your life don't gotta stop. I could be doing this, that, and the other. And I bet you the quality of your kid is in those statements as well. You probably had a shit gremlin kid. Fuck you. This is my channel. This is my fucking standpoint on this. You have a motherfucking kid. The only thing that matters is that goddamn baby. And you better be married to the woman. Out here bastard making. Out here whore making. Be fucking fathers. Stop the games. You've already seen it. You've already seen it done a million times in every fucking movie. You've seen it, heard it in every fucking rap track. It's already been done. Humans have already done this shit. The fuck are you doing repeating the dumb shit? The fuck are you doing? This ain't the Middle Ages. Fucking 2024. Use your fucking brain and wrap your fucking dick. If you want a woman bash, let's talk some shit. These whores ain't worth it. The fuck are y'all doing? These whores are not worth your seed. Find a good one. Find the right one. Lock her down. Marry her. And be a father. Stop the dumb shit. It's just biology. I just gotta get this nut. Fuck you. I'm almost fucking 50 with no motherfucking kids. Fuck you. And believe me, I only date baddies. So don't come at me with no shit about not being able to get no bitches. Fuck you. Be a father.
Horrific to think that somebody would lay their hands on a female, a man to lay their hands on a female, or anyone in a domestic relationship, or anyone ever, really. Like, violence is just not okay. And I know it from my perspective of being a comedian and being a YouTuber. The amount of violent threats that I've had are outrageous, and they're all from dudes. So what makes a man violent? I guess that is the question here. And, you know, I don't want you to think coming and watching this video is going to give you a fucking answer. And I'm not trying to change the world. I'm not trying to do any of that shit. I'm just trying to literally sit here and hash out ideas in my own mind, and then hopefully we can at least start a conversation about what should be changed. But at the end of the day, it comes down to government, and it comes down to police, and it comes down to the court system. That is what is going to actually make changes. Well, I can demand that you as a man stop this and do this and change that. But in reality, you're not going to fix it just by screaming at everybody.
We're not.
It's a very small percentage of men that do horrific things. And as I said before, I don't think they'll ever stop doing those horrific things because a lot of people are just broken. So where...
And some of us just need a nudge. Sometimes we just need a nudge. We need to hear the voice at the right time in our lives. It might, you know, a lot of us go through life and don't hear the right message at the right time from the right person. And we just keep drifting and drifting and drifting. And it doesn't resonate until that one moment. So like he's saying, and I've said this before too, I'm not going to solve the world's problems here on this channel. I'm only going to express what I feel and what I see, and pray and hope that it resonates and that there's a little bit of a buzz in someone's ear out there. Maybe a younger brother hears it. Maybe a man who's my age hears it, and it just gives you a little nudge just to do a little bit better in life, or just to look at things a little differently, or to explore something different. So
where do people break? Where are these people who start off as babies? Because all these murderers, all these pieces of shit, they started off as babies, clear slates. Nothing wrong with them. No one would ever think that they would hurt a soul. But they have. So I guess it comes down to what you see as a child. What relationship your mother and father have, if they have a relationship at all. Did your dad hit your mum? Did your mum used to scream at your dad all the time? What sort of violent household, and this goes for young boys and young girls, what sort of violent household did you grow up in? Or were there other people in your life at that time when you were a little baby that you saw fighting all the time, and then you grow up and you think this is okay? In my book, Better Man, and not to plug the fucking book all the time, and I don't want people to say, oh, Isaac Butterfield's releasing a book when all this is happening to women about masculinity. Mate, there's nothing wrong with masculinity, okay? Nothing wrong at all. Toxic people exist on both feminine and masculine planes. It has nothing to do with actual masculinity. One of the chapters in my book is all about partnerships and all about relationships and how you should do absolutely everything in your power to make your partner's life as easy as possible. And they should do the same for you. And then together, you have this beautiful relationship. The chapter's called Marry Your Best Friend, because if you're not doing that, you're making a huge mistake. This is where all this fighting comes from, all this shit. You end up with someone who you don't even get along with. That's the terrible idea. And I'm not saying that that's why these murders happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's a good starting point as to where you should be as a man or as a woman. You should get into a relationship with someone who you really, really get along with. It amazes me how many people live in homes where all they do is fight with their partner. It's fucking terrible. Another concern for young men growing up is...
We'll get back to the other concern here in just a moment. But, you know, I also find it odd that some people in some cultures actually set it up as a benchmark that it is guaranteed that you're going to go through shit, instead of finding a common ground before you even enter in the contract of marriage. That it's just expected. I think a lot of things that we do as adults and a lot of choices that we make in our relationships can be thought through differently. We're going to get into levels of thinking one day. We don't got enough time tonight, but we're going to get into levels of thinking one day, and it's a home math episode that he did. I think it's really, really, really key. Maybe I'll do it for Men's Mental Health Part 2. because I think it's really, really key to how we approach situations in the world, how we approach the world, and how we approach one another, based on our levels of thinking. All the way from little lizard brain, all the way up to understanding that my actions have implications on other people, on how they see me and how others see them. And you understand there's a bigger view of the world that a lot of us don't even understand, that can't even conceive, because we're so wrapped up in our own selfish lives. But anyway, we'll get into that at another time. Here, let's continue with Isaac tonight.
There's this incel culture, and for some reason hating women. Like, it's just fucking bananas. You can disagree with feminism and still not hate women, you fucking idiots. It's on the female side too. Hating all men is just as ridiculous as hating all women. It's fucking bananas. Culture's another thing, and that's what I also spoke about in the book, about this whole shit idea that a lot of dudes have, and women, that they bag their partner, they talk shit about them at any opportunity.
Absolutely.
Oh, the ball and chain wants me home. Fuck that shit. You get in a relationship not because you're forced to, because you want to. I hate that. I fucking hate that shit. And that was a big part of like the footy culture, the rugby league culture that I grew up in. Everyone talking shit about their wives. Fuck that. That's not healthy. That's not good. And that's not leading to murders, but it's not leading to a healthy relationship. And that's also not leading to healthy children. That's a big part of this. There's also alcohol.
You don't want to be out with your dad, or with a male mentor who's older in your family, an older relative, what be it, and just listening to them just berate their wife or girlfriend, and I gotta get home because blah 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 blah. Bro, you made a choice. You made a choice. Or were you just that desperate? Was it desperation? You just couldn't get no pussy anywhere else. You just had to marry that one. That was the best thing you could get. We're going to talk about maxing, because a lot of y'all have low fucking self-esteem. Y'all are running the low fucking self-esteem Olympics out here like y'all a motherfucking Usain Bolt. Simping fucking everywhere. Fuck.
Drugs, mental health issues, and they are big problems as well. Toxic people, absolutely. But none of these are easy fixes. This is generational change. We all need to be better than our fathers and their fathers and their fathers. And as for women, better than your mother and your grandmother, and better every single generation. But what can we do fucking tomorrow? I think ankle monitors. If you are convicted of a violent crime, whether it's against a woman or not, anyone, you should have a fucking ankle monitor on to follow where you go, you piece of shit. And you might be upset about freedoms. Well, you lose your freedom if you attack someone.
Fuck your freedom. Fuck your freedom.
There should be longer prison sentences as well, no doubt. You should be able to look up, much like you should be able to look up sex offenders, you should be able to look up domestic.
Oh, everybody makes mistakes. Bro, you chose to fuck with the broad with the loud mouth. You knew what it would do. You thought that shit got your dick hard. We're all men. I watch my brothers and niggas in the hood do it all the fucking time. Makes a dick hard. She got a loud fucking mouth. What does it lead to? Oh, I got a DV case against me. Every single fucking time. I got relatives in trouble for this dumb shit. By the book. By the book, dumb bitch. By the book, dumb nigga. By the book, dumb choices. DV case, you chose. Get out of these situations, man. The best move is to remove yourself from these situations. Get away from these inflammatory individuals. Get your rocks off some other way, bro. It's not cute anymore. And then the next layer of this, we're not going to get into it, but you get these broads pregnant and now you're cursed. Not only do you have multiple issues and a DV case, but now you got a baby on top of it, or two. Get away. Be more intelligent.
Violence abusers. So if you start a relationship with someone and you go, oh, let me just search his name in here, and he turns out he's a fucking pig, then you don't continue the relationship because he's a fucking piece of shit. Once again, you lose your freedom. Bail's another huge thing. One of the dudes who unalived his partner the other week was on bail for assault, sexual assault. I won't say the R word. But how? So that needs to fucking change.
Right. Let's talk about America. He's talking about over there. Wasn't there just a case like 2 months ago where a gentleman was released, a guy was released from prison, was already in there for a violent act, already had a restraining order against him because of his that his ex-girlfriend or baby mama or whatever filed against him. Somehow magically he wound up at the house, unalived her son. The system failed. However, he found her failed. If it was her relationship with the man and her continuing to keep contact with him, whatever the choices were involved on their part, that was some failure. And then the system absolutely failed. But see, we got all these liberals out here that want to go and protest about prison terms and want to turn things around and make it all about these feelings instead of about the facts of who the person is and how violent they are. Y'all asked for it. I'm going to talk about this in another stream, but this is the America we deserve. We deserve every bit of it. Everything. Because we asked for it. And we continue to ask for it. We need more programs. We need more oversight. We need more government, program. Keep asking for it. You're getting everything you deserve. And every time you complain about something, go back and look at what you asked for or didn't do.
Intervention needs to be there. We need to have places for women to go that are safe if they are in abusive relationships. There needs to be somewhere to get those ladies out and save them, basically, from these pieces of shit. Because once again, you can't just...
There are resources if these women reach out for them. That somebody can't just magically reach into your relationship and say, hey, come on, lady, let's get out. Let's go. He beating you up. It doesn't work that way.
Demand that all men change, because most of us are sitting there going, this is fucking insane. Why are these dudes doing it?
Right.
You need to save them from the situation. You need to pull them out. Also, I don't even know if I mentioned this in the other part of the video, but give women a chance to defend themselves. The fact that we can't own pepper spray in Australia, you can do it in Western Australia, but that's it.
That's crazy.
The fact that you can't get pepper spray is insane.
That's
and
crazy.
I saw a video the other day, this young lady was talking about, the Daily Mail talking about pepper spray. She's like, this is victim blaming, victim shaming. I was like, well, no, give them a fucking chance. Support them financially, support them emotionally, get them out of these fucking shit situations and have places for them to go. Give that whole sector funding. We spend money on shit that we don't need to. We're sending all this money to Ukraine when we've got wars in our own households here. I don't think we need to believe all women because people lie, but at least take it seriously and investigate it thoroughly. And I think most dudes,
Absolutely.
Good dudes would do this. If you see your mate talking shit about his wife or saying he did something violent, like, no longer are they your friend. Like, no question about it. I don't think anyone who is...
Look, I don't know how y'all take life, and I don't know what kind of squares y'all stand on, but I've got a very, very, very shallow stomach for fuckwits and for fuckboys. I've got a very, very shallow stomach anymore for that shit. I halfway don't want to fuck with motherfuckers that cheat on their wives. It takes a lot within me to find out it takes a lot within me to search your merit and what you're worth. What you're worth on the skin that God printed you out on. I really have to search within my soul on that shit. If you're worth even being part of, an associate of mine or not. That's just me. So, fuck with that what you will.
Convicted of domestic violence should be allowed anywhere near your fucking friendship group, near your footy club, near your group of whatever. I don't want people thinking, watching this video, that I have any answers at all, because this is it's a full-on problem, and it's a problem that's been around forever, and it probably will continue to be around for a long time, if not forever. There are things that we can do as a society to at least mitigate the problem and try and stop it as much as we can. And that's by being better versions of ourselves. And hopefully, if we continue, the people who actually want to make better versions of themselves, if we continue to be better than the fucking dead shits who carry on like this and are just violent thugs, then hopefully they will catch up as well. I don't fucking know. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section down below.
All right, we're going to pause there for a minute. For men's mental health, one of the most glaring subjects over the past couple months has been abuse and men's behaviors toward their significant others, toward their families, toward their children, and now toward our communities. Gentlemen, we really have to find a new frontier. A lot of us really, really do. I want to share something with you that's a little bit taboo. Stoicism. We're going to get into Marcus Aurelius. And we're going to get into his way of thinking about the challenges that he faced way back then. All right. I know that a lot of people have their feelings about the way that the Roman Empire was navigated, how it existed over its history. But there is a lot that we seem to ignore out of the privilege of being born in this day and age. We ignore conveniently about history, especially the same exact journeys and interactions that others have gone through that we today are experiencing. A lot of the things that we can learn about ourselves, we can learn from meditation, we can learn through therapy. But more times than not, it really is just a piece of missing history where we failed to read a book or expose ourselves to something that might have given us a little bit of an edge or an answer to the problem we were going through. So as men, let's take a quick look at Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius and his writings. I think you'll like this, and I think that for some of us, we may gain a little bit of a better view on our own condition and situations that we encounter. All right, fair use, fair use.
Stoicism takes the position that the wise man, the good man, the philosopher, is a man who lives in accordance with nature. He fears only abdicating his moral responsibility. He is not afraid of pain. He is not afraid of death. He is not afraid of poverty. He is not afraid of any of the vicissitudes of the human condition. He fears only that he should let himself down and that he should be less than a complete human being.
The philosopher Marcus Aurelius was one of the founding fathers of Stoicism, and he is famous for his book Meditations. The idea of being a great man is kind of nebulous, but there is perhaps no single person in history who has ever been more deserving of that title. This is not a self-help video, I promise you that, but the philosophy that Marcus pioneered and wrote about can be an antidote to so many of the problems that we encounter in modern life. I want to show you why. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor who served from 161 AD to 180 AD. He was the last of the so-called 5 good emperors and served over a period known as the Pax Romana, or the Roman Peace. In fact, when Marcus Aurelius died, the Pax Romana ended. Aurelius, when he was emperor, was the most powerful man in the world. The Romans basically had no concept of the globe outside of their empire, so as far as he was concerned, Marcus was effectively ruler of the world. In this position, he could have anything he wanted. Precedent had been set. The life of a Roman emperor was basically synonymous with hedonism. That was what Roman emperors did. They indulged in money, sex, wine, and any other pursuit that even vaguely occurred to them. It was practically expected. So any vice the mind could have possibly considered was directly within reach for Marcus Aurelius. He was entirely unbound by money, law, custom, or even ethics, no one and nothing would stop him from realizing his wildest desires.
Almost like a modern day celebrity.
But even in those limitless circumstances, Marcus Aurelius chose a life of virtue. He chose to be a good man, and not just in one instant or on one occasion, but every day for all 19 years of his time as emperor. Marcus Aurelius was a fundamentally good man. Being good doesn't make you a great person, but imagine staring down the beast of truly unlimited fantasies and declaring, "No, I choose virtue, not for the sake of praise or fame or admiration, but just for the sake of being good." That is impressive. I mean, consider the circumstances and consider if you were in those circumstances for almost 20 years. Could you consistently, day in and day out, overcome the monster of temptation, knowing that there would be no ramifications whatsoever, no matter what you choose to do? What would you do? How would you act? I know I couldn't follow the example set by Marcus Aurelius, and we know it was a true example because when no one was looking, that's when Marcus was at his best. Meditations is a book written by Marcus Aurelius. Well, it's not really a book. It was...
All right, so I'm going to pause right there. Oop, where my camera at? Hey, there we go. Camera's back. I want to send a shout out to Through the Fire podcast. Bro, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Thank you. Cynical One.
Hello.
Thank you for joining. And Mona D, thank you as always. Thank you as always for being here. All right, everybody. Let's get back into it. And if anybody has any gems, Through the Fire, if you got any gems on Marcus, feel free to drop them. Discussions are always welcome.
Marcus Aurelius's personal journal. This book is basically Marcus navigating his way through life. It has no real structure aside from being vaguely divided into 12 parts, and it's only about 150 pages. Meditations is the title that publishers have prescribed to it. The writings had no title. They were never intended to be read, much less published, by any person at any point other than Marcus himself. They were Marcus Aurelius's deepest confessions and beliefs. With that in mind, Meditations is immensely revealing as to the character of its writer. Because again, Aurelius wasn't writing this for anyone but himself. But despite this seemingly off-the-cuff nature, Meditations is one of the most powerful and most poignant books ever put to paper. Undoubtedly, the best thing to do is read Meditations for yourself. There are copies of it in almost every single library and bookstore in the country, maybe the world. But for the purposes of this video, there are a few ideas in there that I think are really worth examining. Marcus Aurelius believed in living in accordance with nature. By nature, Aurelius was referring to the plants and animals, yes, but also to the natural order of the universe. Trees grow because that's what they're made to do. They grow as big as they can and become as beautiful as they can, not because they want praise or are looking for some external validation. But instead, they grow to be powerful and awe-inspiring because that's what they're made to do. That is the natural order. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly. A frail, featherless chick becomes an eagle, not because they want to, but because they are created to. In the same way, Marcus believed that the duty of a human was to fulfill their potential. He did not believe in accumulating things or riches, and we'll talk about that later, or being awarded or given accolades. Nature had made you a human, and with that in mind, it was your duty on this earth to be the kindest, most virtuous human that you can possibly be. For Marcus, this is the pinnacle of human achievement, an unfulfilled potential. That was the darkest place you could sink to. After all, you can't control anything else. You can't control what the world throws your way, but you can control how you react. And no matter what happens, a great person weathers the storm and lives up to their fullest, most virtuous potential. That is your duty as a human. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, so although he may have enjoyed sitting around writing all day, that wasn't his job and he didn't write very much. He had to deal with a lot of things and a lot of people. Above all else, Marcus believed that evil, wicked, or just somehow bad people were simply part of our universe. Asking the world to not present you with these people would be like asking a vine to exist without thorns. Don't be ridiculous. There's simply nothing you can do, Marcus says. Bad people exist, and in your life, you will encounter them.
Sound familiar?
Marcus believed in kindness, though, and he believed that people didn't ever want to do the wrong thing. Instead, when people did the wrong thing, it was simply out of ignorance. You can try to teach these people, sure, but it's just not always going to be an option. So we can't control if the universe sends us the immoral or the wicked or the lazy, and if we can't also help these people, which usually we can't, we just have to put up with it. And to do this, Marcus says, you should look inward. He writes to himself, hey, Marcus, you've got faults too. Who are you to judge? Maybe you have different faults than these so-called bad people, but Marcus, you have your faults nevertheless. In a different conversation on a different day, perhaps you, Marcus, would be the ignorant one. And Marcus, it's possible that you just don't understand. He told himself, hey, you can't even be sure that they are doing the wrong thing. The thief who steals to feed his family isn't wrong, you just don't understand. And often in life, you won't understand, and you won't know that you don't understand. So again, don't judge. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius believed that we were all born for each other. Over and over, he reminded himself, that is the natural order. A tree grows fruit so animals can eat. Animals die so that worms have food. Just like in the natural world, we are all made to help each other. That is, again, our duty. The only...
And again, this is just an introspective piece and a philosophical piece, because we obviously know that within the confines of civilization, we have laws that have to be followed, and we have rules and guidelines that should be adhered to. So there's structure. Otherwise, everything would kind of turn shit. So even aside, so aside from how we should look into ourselves and view our own imperfections and respect the imperfections of others, we must also understand that there are boundaries within those flaws. So,
only true failure in life would be to abdicate this responsibility. So Marcus, you better do it, and you better do it well. We all go through adversity, and Marcus Aurelius was no exception. But just like encountering bad people, Marcus realized that encountering adversity is simply part of the human condition.
any kind of adversity, it can be an adversity, job related, being a warrior for this nation. That's one gigantic challenge. Personal challenges, growing up poor, right? I think more than a few of us can relate to that. The challenges of just getting through school or higher education, just getting through it, getting through the workday. Every one of us faced challenges, no matter how small.
Again, you can only control what you can control. So don't pray for bad things not to happen. That is a fool's errand, Marcus told himself. Those things are going to happen, and there's positively, absolutely nothing you can do
I believe the famous phrase goes, shit happens
about it. But what you can control, Marcus, is you can control how you react to them. You can control if you are ready to meet adversity when it comes, and it will, Marcus says. You know that it will.
Hell yeah.
When that day arrives, don't be sad because something bad happened. Don't feel bad for yourself. Don't mope. Instead, feel fortunate that you have the tools and the spirit to make it through unscathed.
Now, as he's talking to himself and he's telling himself that he should be happy that he has the tools. What do the tools look like? I'm asking you as the audience. What do the tools look like? A lot of us don't have those tools. A lot of us don't know. A lot of us don't know how to approach situations. A lot of us don't take accountability for situations we're faced with. So as men, how do we gain those tools? I think one way is by changing the atmosphere and group of men that we associate ourselves with, finding a new frontier, something new, a new interest with new people that open new horizons and expose us to better things that may bring us better fortune. I think that's a start. That's a big start. All right, let's go.
Marcus tells himself bear these events as
another one is also therapy. Therapy enables it provides us with a toolkit like no other when dealing with social situations, when dealing with triggers. From personal experience, a key trigger for me has always been my father. And I did a short video while I was on the road on Father's Day. But for me, a key trigger has always been my father and the lack of relationship. So when for a long time, as I would try to appeal to the man, it would stir up emotion. And yeah, I get pissed. I get mad because it seems clear as day to me how this relationship between he and I should be. But he doesn't see it that way. And I didn't have the toolkit beforehand, and it would result in me exploding, especially if there was alcohol involved. Oh, yeah, I was no good. So I learned and was enabled with a toolkit on how to better react, on how to better handle those situations, and what to accept and absolve myself of, because I can't put that burden on myself. So there's a few different sources that we have as men out there. And again, therapy is a major one. It's a major one.
As a brave man, go through adversity with bravery and come out on the other side. When you do, realize that this supposedly bad thing was not bad at all. It was simply an opportunity to persist, to rise above, to keep going forward. Marcus Aurelius says when these events come, don't complain. Act, endure. You can either endure something or you can't. So what happens if and when that unendurable thing comes your way? Don't disgrace yourself, Marcus, he says. All men die, but not all men die complaining.
Absolutely.
Marcus Aurelius was a man of enormous wealth, but he did not believe this was inherently a problem. Marcus did not vilify material possession like some other philosophers have throughout history, but instead he was cautious with his relationship to the things that he owned. Marcus Aurelius could have had anything he wanted: money, houses, art, wine, but he chose not to. Instead, he said, Marcus, don't dream of physical things that you want. These are meaningless. They don't fulfill your potential. Only you can do that. Reflect on what you do have and value these things. Remember how much you would want them if you didn't have them. But be careful, Marcus, he tells himself, not to value them so much that you would be despondent if they just disappeared. They don't matter. They're nice, but they don't matter. They don't improve you as a person. They don't make you more virtuous or more kind. Your potential is not accumulating things, Marcus. No, the human potential is higher than that. You must live in accordance with nature. Marcus Aurelius spent a lot of his time thinking about death, so much so that it would be impossible to make this video without discussing his opinions on the subject. And his views on death were simple. It's coming whether you like it or not. He tells himself time and time again, it's outside of your control, so don't waste your time fearing death or fretting over mortality. Just like nature has assigned us to be good, to help one another, and to reach our fullest potentials, nature has assigned us to die. Death is a duty. So, while you're here, live, be kind, be good, fulfill your role in nature, and then die. Because death is also part of that role. Marcus Aurelius, along with a couple other men, was a forebearer of the philosophy known as Stoicism. The Stoics believed in many things. Their school of thought covers logic, ethics, physics, and a whole lot more. But there is one distinction that lies at the core of the Stoic philosophy. The distinction of pleasure versus happiness. Money, fame, even success were external stimuli that provided fleeting moments of pleasure, but this wasn't happiness. Happiness was not so temporary.
Absolutely.
The concept of happiness was something more. It was a state of being that came entirely from within.
You guys ever had buyer's remorse? You buy something, and right after you buy it, you're like, why did I buy that? Why did I do that? Or shortly after, you get a new gadget, a new thing, and you just look at it and you're like, it does just as much as the old thing did. You ever feel that? Didn't need it to begin with. You shouldn't have got it.
It didn't come from being an emperor like Marcus Aurelius. It didn't come from any worldly things. The Stoics said to achieve happiness, you should live a life of virtue. You should continue to better yourself and become all that you possibly can. The only failure, the only true pain, the only true sadness, the only thing worth fearing is to let yourself down by not achieving your potential.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
and only because being great is your duty. Being great is in your very nature.
And like Isaac said in the previous video, it should be our providence as men and women, because I know the audience is rather broad this evening, even though this is aimed toward the men. But as men and women, it should be our providence to be better than those before us and those before them. We should be the best version of the men and women before us and our families. So, more food for thought. More food for thought. Last video we got this evening. So actually, let's back up for a second. Let's do this. So this is Isaac. This is Isaac Butterfield. Go check him out. He is a comedian. Aside from his comedy act, as you just witnessed a couple times, I believe you guys, I've played him on here a couple times. You see that he's got plenty of content spanning all kinds of social issues. So go check him out. Marcus Aurelius came from horses. Again, fair use. They have a lot of great content as well. More of the documentary type. So go check them out as well. All right, last up, home math. Y'all are familiar with home math. Let's do a pop out here. There we go. Go check out home math. In his own words, hoes are not just ladies. This is not just a reference to the ladies. This is a reference to both of us, ladies and men. We both use hoe logic, and he works to break it all down. Now, obviously, from the thumbnails, there are more ladies here present because he's answering certain questions that have been asked by the social media community at large. But other than that, yes, our friend does have some great content for guys and girls. And that's what we're going to explore this evening. We're going to explore self-maximizing. All right. So we've gone a little bit into the darker side of things and looked at the pandemic that is male behavior. We don't have an answer for that sort of thing, right? Men, the best things that we can do are maintain who we are as men and do everything we can to influence other men around us away from that kind of behavior, as well as be fathers to our sons and teach these young men how to burn that energy without being negative and focusing negativity toward females and toward women as they get older. We also explored Stoicism a little bit, a way to think about life and to introspect a little bit more as the world throws obstacles in our paths. We can go a lot deeper into that conversation at a later time, maybe. I think there are some little chicken tidbits to be picked off the bone of Stoicism. I think I've come across some events in my life that could have used a little more Stoicism as opposed to being reactionary. So there's a little bit that can be pulled from that. Now we're going to go into self-maximizing. All right, no one has any one answer on how to make yourself a better person. What is that? What does that look like? I don't have an answer for that. Sometimes people even ask me, like, I've lost 50 pounds over the past year, and people have asked me, like, well, how did you do it? Like, I don't have an answer for that. It's a formula that I fit for myself, right? And it was part of my self-maximizing journey. Not really, but it had to do with my health. So it was part of my maximizing my journey, my maximization journey. As I'm 50, almost 50. So I'm kicking 50 in the ass right now. So I wanted to make sure that while I was working on my brain and increasing my knowledge in my career, that I also worked on my frame. I worked on my body. It ain't fun getting old. So he's going to spit his formula, and he's also put it down on paper because this is what he does. He's a content creator. So this is his content. This is his 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5. This is my hobby. But he also put this down on paper, and we're going to go through it. 24 minutes of fun. Last video of the evening. He's got some comedy in there as always. So let's get into it, everybody.
This is Self-Maximize. It is a mind map designed to help you self-reflect and self-improve, especially in terms of your dating market value. Why am I qualified to tell you how to do this? Well, I once went from being about a 4 to about an 8. Moving from here to here is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself. Look at all these nice colorful lines. Those are attention. And I accomplished that by losing 100 pounds while getting jacked, learning how to dress, eliminating my insecurities, working on my social skills, seeking information and learning independently, moving across the country, following a dream very successfully, which was then destroyed by COVID, moving across the country again, and then starting this social media channel, which now has millions and millions of views, and I make a living on it, and it's only been 7 months. Achieving these things.
All right. Okay, wait, let's pause for a second. Time out. Bro talks really, really fast. But I need you guys to pay attention. Gentlemen, I need you to pay attention. Ladies, he talks to the ladies a little bit later on because self-maximizing helps both men and women. But for now, dudes, it's us, okay? Dudes. Ladies, just take a chill pill. No news. What's good, brother? I'm glad to see you here. But yeah, so he talks really, really, really fast. If you haven't watched his videos before, and he's trying to squeeze a lot of content in 24 minutes, so I'm going to try to shut up because we can lose track of where we are in his flow here. So I'm just going to giggle off to the side. Fair use. Let's watch this. I'm going to try not to comment too much. All right, let's go.
Transformed me from a total loser into, well, you should see my options right now. Self-Maximize is based partially on another mind map called Integral Theory. I made my own version of it for easy understanding. If you like understanding things more easily, you can also try Shortform, the sponsor of this video. We all want to learn more than we have.
Okay, again, this is Home Math. I'm going to fast forward. He is going to do a sponsor read. I'm just going to fast forward past that. Please go check out his channel, subscribe. all the goodies.
Off an annual subscription. Go to shortform.com/hellmath and learn faster. To learn faster about how to self-maximize, pay attention to these 7 things. What self-maximize basically means is if you know what you want and you can change your mind and the things that you do, then the world around you will give you a different and hopefully better result. This map is a flowchart of how that works, and you can consult it to figure out what you might be missing. Originally, self-maximize was just going to be an in-depth explanation of what you need to do for every individual category on zones, and I'm still going to go over those, but the more I wrote, the more I found that I can't give everyone advice at once. This is 23 pages. In later videos, I might go into detail on things like fitness, diet, fashion, social status, but that's
You guys know how like when we're watching other streamers react to other videos, like even Messy Vashon, and she'll put it on like 1.5 speed. We don't need to do that for this guy at all. All right, so everybody pay attention. Pay attention. He's gonna go through this quick.
It's too much for one video, so instead I'm just showing you how I did it. It's based on getting feedback from your environment and responding to it thoughtfully. I also included some of the exercises I did on the Self-Maximize PDF packet, which is for sale on my Patreon. So I'm going to do 2 things in this video. I'm going to go over this checklist that explains zones in more detail, and I'm going to show you how to think about them using this map. Here's how the map works. These gray arrows represent how life works unconsciously when you're not thinking about it. Everything in your life starts with a desire, like I'm hungry, or I have to go to work, or I want a girlfriend, and then those desires become mental, they become thoughts, and then they become your behaviors, which then go into your environment, which reacts to them.
Okay, you guys got that so far? Your thoughts become your behaviors, which go into the environment, and people react to your behaviors. All right? All right, let's go.
And those reactions become your life. When you experience your life, you get feedback, and then you have the opportunity to think about it and
feedback. When you do something out in public and someone gives you feedback and says, "Ooh, you're acting like a colored. Ooh, you out here acting a whole damn fool." That's feedback. Now you have to put that in your little pea brain and you have to process it. All right, we're self-maximizing here, people. We're learning how to be better people. Let's go.
Change what you do, which is where most people fail. So this map encourages you to think of things out of order. Start by recognizing what you want and then begin thinking about where would be the best place to get it before you begin to design your behaviors. I've broken each of these sections down with questions that help you think about them and exercises to help change the way you think. These are designed to increase your consciousness. Why does consciousness matter? I've made a lot of videos about women saying things like, I'm a 10, you're a 10, we're all 10s, everyone's perfect. I am the table is a popular one. It basically means I don't have to provide anything that you do. The male version of this is I want her to like me for me and not for any of the actual reasons that women might like men. This style of thinking is low consciousness. It is self-interested. It is egocentric. It sees others as a means to an end. Basically, they should like you and not as individuals who have their own things.
Oops. Did he just call out like most people in the dating sphere? Did he just call y'all out? I think he just called out most people out here dating in these streets.
That they like. So some people want things, but they forget about what the world wants from them, and they never think about how they could provide those things. So to summarize self-maximize, it's basically don't be this. Don't just say, oh, me, my needs. Who's gonna like me for me? Be this, and then look for somebody who is willing to be that for you. Here, like this. And if you can become more conscious of how to become those things, your life gets better really fast. In other words, you can
Hold on, he's hilarious. Hold on. He flipped the table diagram, you guys. He said, be more like this. And then he just flipped the diagram. Hold on, let's go back. I'm sorry, you guys. This is so funny. All right, there's the table. All right, so let's stop right here. Start right here. Okay, let's go. Watch. You have to watch fast. This guy moves fast.
provide those things. So to summarize self-maximize, it's basically don't be this. Don't just say, oh, me, my needs. Who's going to like me for me? Be this, and then look for somebody who is willing to be that for you. Here, like this. And if you can become more conscious of how to become those things, your life gets better really fast. In other words, you cannot make people like you. You just have to be what they like. Here are some failures to do that. Like I said, I got in really good shape, but I wasn't able to make very much money until recently, so a lot of women would enter my life but then also leave. I had a lot of attractive traits, so I got a lot of this, but I did not have many reliable traits, so I didn't get much of that. What I failed to do was change my mind and my behaviors in a way that made the world want to give me money. So I had a desire that was not realized, and I failed to understand that this was the only way I could change it. Example number 2. I used to have a Russian friend with a scar on his face. Russia's pretty cool. And he said he wanted to get rid of his accent. He talked very heavy Russian accent. You know how it goes. So I go, that's great. I can help with that. You remember a minute ago when you asked me to open the window? And he goes, yes. And I go, okay, instead of saying window, say window. Instead of E, say eh. And he goes, no. This is stupid. So he wanted to change his accent and never got what he wanted because he ignored his feedback and didn't change his thoughts. Example number 3. A fan of mine told me people say he comes off a little froofy. So we get on webcam and I go, all right, your sweatshirt is a little froofy. And he goes, what's wrong with being comfortable? And I say, okay, your haircut is not working for you. And he goes, I've seen popular guys with this haircut. And I go, all right, dude, your mustache is stereotypically froofy. And he goes, it's just the lighting. It would look different if you were in the room with me. So
Bro. You guys know anybody out there, and you guys out there, you know anybody that you've ever provided any kind of suggestion to, and they act exactly the same way? And it's like a suggestion about like life and choices or anything, and they act exactly the same way. Yeah.
keep the problem then. What do you want from me? One last example.
Yeah, just keep your problem then. Like, why are you asking me anything if you're not going to take the suggestion that is going to help you maximize the position that you're currently in and move forward in life and evolve? Just keep your problems.
I'm talking to a girl at a party. She says men are being too forward with me on Tinder. So I look at her profile and...
Here's a good one. This is a great one. Oh my God. This is a great one.
At a party, she says men are being too forward with me on Tinder. So I look at her profile and it's all bikini pictures. And I go, well, there's your problem. You're half naked in front of thousands of men. And she goes, excuse me, I'm allowed to be proud of my body. And yeah, you are allowed to do this, but this is what you get if you do it. And you don't have the power to change that. That's not how the world works. So in all of these examples, these people wanted something and they were shown what they needed to change in order to get it. And they resisted making those changes. So they kept their behaviors the same and did them in front of the same people in the same ways and got the same results.
So they're moving in a figure 8, an Ouroboros. They're looping over themselves. They're snakes eating their tails. If you don't evolve and you don't evaluate mentally the situation that you're in and change your behaviors so that you can get, or the environment to get out of the situation, you are just going to loop around and continue with the same behaviors and situations over and over again, gents. All right, let's go.
This map is here to remind you how not to do that. So I already gave you zones and I added a checklist. Your job is to think about each one of these things using this map. You should think about all...
Did you get that? Did you get that checklist, gentlemen? All right.
All 7 sections throughout your day. So whether you...
Pause the video, go back and watch Home Math's video to catch that again, or pause my video on that checklist. He'll bring the checklist up again and he'll refer back to the checklist so you understand how each part of the checklist works. Okay, anyway, let's go.
Are or are not getting what you want, you should become conscious of why that is and then do it either more or less. And if you have a problem with that, then figure out what it is about yourself that needs to change. That process is how I did all of these things, especially this one. When I'm creating content, I'm thinking about what do I want that content to do and who am I showing it to. I've tried a lot of different things and each one gives me different feedback. So I look at it all carefully, and then I change and grow. The same process applies for every part of your life. You are basically designing yourself. You can download the map for free or buy the packet. Think of it as a miniature personal coaching session. It's a system of self-reflection that you can apply to all of these categories. Basically, what am I doing that fills these boxes for the person I'm looking for? I also made a list of what I think those areas are for the average person. In the future, I might make videos for each specific area. So let's go through the list. I'm going to start with men, obviously. I've
All right, guys, let's go.
said before that just be nice and just be yourself is the worst advice that modern men get. It leads to a lot of wasted time. Most of you need to start with body and masculine.
Yeah, that was a big problem for me. Growing up, I was always told, oh, just be nice. Oh, just be yourself. Oh, you're such a nice, oh, sweet little culture. Oh, culture, you're going to break so many hearts when you get older. Oh, you're so helpful, culture. Oh, bullshit. I got stomped on. I was like King Simpopotamus for like years. I'm a reformed simp, by the way. I think y'all already know that. I'm a reformed simp. I have my card from Simpopotamus is Anonymous. I have my coin, and I could flip the coin between my fingers when I start getting my simp ways start kicking in. And I have like a sponsor I can call when I start feeling kind of simpy. No, it's a thing. We all have to go through the development. We all have to evolve as people. But anyway, yes, being the nice guy does not get you very far. You get a lot of wasted time, a lot of friend zones, and a lot of pats on the head like, oh, you'll make somebody a cute husband one day. So yeah, it don't work.
Masculinity first. That's why they're first on the list. The most important aspect of attraction is physical. That's basically everything about your body. Now, there are some things that you cannot change, like your height or your facial symmetry, at least not without surgery, which I don't recommend. So you're going to be focusing on being in shape, dressing well, the way that you act, and taking care of yourself. I don't have any before pictures of myself, but it was kinda like this guy. And this is pretty much the best I ever looked. This is a few years ago. That moved me from this area to this area, from here to here, with most women. Life changed.
Yeah, definitely. Gentlemen, the first thing, just stop being a fat slob. Just stop. It's not cool no more. Just stop. You're shortening your health span, and women are just pitying you. So stop. If you're not already married and you all have already settled into your final form as husband and wife, stop. Stop what you're doing and start working out on your body. Anyway.
I think most men underestimate how much women like good bodies. It's probably more than us. So I was always pursuing women the same.
Yeah, women absolutely like men with nice bodies. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. Like hey, where am I at? Come back here. Where you at? Yeah, there I am. Hey, look me in the eye. Look, I am the captain now. Let me tell you what. Um, like if you're just fit, and she's really feeling you, she'll just be like shuddering and shaking and shimmying. I mean, when she's rubbing her hands on your chest, like if you just fit, like it's just the way that it is. Like, y'all get fit. Start working on yourselves, gents.
Same group of women with varying degrees of success until one day I changed my mind about how I should live my life, changed my diet and exercise routine and my appearance, and all of a sudden the same old behaviors started to have very different results for the same group of women. That was my feedback that this was the big change that made everything different. So that's what this checklist is. It's my notes on what you probably need to improve first. Keep that in mind as I go through them one by one. So like I said, fitness is super important, and if you are ignoring it, stop ignoring it. I might go into all these things in detail in later videos, but for now this is just a brief overview. Most men should be building muscle, losing fat, and like if you can pick up your girlfriend and carry her.
I told you, do it, gents. I'm telling you, you should also learn to dance. If you waste money going to the bar with your homies, take a pause for a month. Take a pause for a month, going to the bar with your homies. Whatever the one activity extra that you do, take a pause, take that money, go throw it in some dance lessons. Single gentlemen, go do it. Go do it. It's an instant panty dropper. The hell are you doing wasting time? all this game and all this old bullshit everybody's always talking about. You're following the same stupid ass circles and figure eight Ouroboros that these other losers have been doing. All right, stop. Don't follow in the footsteps of baby daddies. Be your own man, gentlemen, single men. Be your own man.
Upstairs. They love things like that. Next, we have
Don't be a simp.
fashion. If you dress like this guy, yeah, you might be comfortable, but how are other people gonna feel about you? Start thinking about it that way. Appropriate means look the best you can for what you're doing. I have 2 winter coats. This one is for shoveling snow. This one is for talking to girls. Put together means everything goes together. Some of you are dressing like this. See how nothing matches or is in order? Here's
Yeah, put your goddamn pants up. I seen a dude tonight. Where the fuck was I at? Where was I at? I was at the store. Anyway, I went to the store earlier, man, and this dude, y'all are still sagging like y'all are in prison. Like that shit's still going on, bro. Your entire image, you got to get out the hood. Y'all got to get out the hood mentality. You have to. You have to. There is a whole nother world out there that looks nothing like that.
what that looks like. These things are also not very nice. There's nothing wrong with this shirt, but it's hanging off of him. That looks sloppy. You don't have to dress like this every day, but usually there's no reason not to other than laziness. This could be a solid t-shirt if you want. What's important is that the colors go together and it fits his body. Expressive means adding a touch of your own personality. Again, this guy has some of that here and here. I used to wear things like this. I got compliments on it. Figure out what works for you. Here's how not to be expressive.
It reminds me of like an old friend. Yeah.
This guy is fit enough, his shirt fits, he's standing up straight, he's medium attractive, he has a decent haircut, but he insisted on wearing a dork shirt and autism glasses, and it ruined his chances. A lot of guys don't like this advice. They say, I want her to like me for me. But remember, if you show people this, you get this. What are you showing people? What do the people think and feel about it? How do they react? How do you like it? And what can you change? Mannerisms. You need to stand up straight, talk like a man, and stop doing things that are gross or annoying. Some of you are walking around hunched over like this with your autism glasses on, and it's not very becoming. I had one client who was very tall and very smart, but he was too excitable in the whole session. Everything he was saying, he was talking like this really fast, and oh my god, and girls don't like that. That's a reasonable ick. He's too affected by his own thoughts and ideas. This guy again, he kind of talked like this, like he went up at the end of his sentences, and I pointed that out to him, and he did fix it, and he said it worked right away. One thing I did was I actually used a camera to look at myself, and I looked too much like this, so I fixed my posture. Grooming definitely needs its own video. I broke that down.
Okay, so he said he looked in the mirror. That's something I've been saying. Go look in the mirror and stare at yourself. Tell yourself that you love yourself and take care of yourself. You have to do it. I'm telling you, it's all part of it, and it leads right into the next piece. Grooming. Look, let me tell you something. I've been told by females before in relationships that I take too long in the bathroom. But those are some masculine ass women. There's nothing wrong with having a grooming routine as a man. That's all part of what we should do. All right? Get the cocoa butter lotion your body down, keep your skin young. Your skin is your biggest organ on your body. Your skin's the biggest organ. It's all over the fucking place. It's catching UV rays. It's catching L's from the day. It's catching galactic muck falling from the universe on it. Some of y'all catching strays, depending on what city you live in. Hopefully not. Look, your skin is your biggest organ. Take care of your skin. Take care of your face. When you shave, moisturize your shit. Moisturize your beard up. If you're growing your beard out, take care of your beard. Doesn't matter who you are, black or white. Take care of the beard. Take care of your face. I got a lot of white brothers that got good beards. They take care of them. They lube them up. They got all the little nice little waves and stuff going on. The black brothers, same thing. Doesn't matter. Take care of yourself. Get your edge up right. Get your barber in right. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do take care of my own hair sometimes. I know there's a lot of brothers that do their own stuff. Whatever it is, take the time you need to be presentable. Groom yourself. Clip your nails. Clean your nails. You're going around touching. I always wondered that, bro. And ladies, this is a question for you. Let me ask you a question. Why in the hell would you mess with a man with dirty, long, nasty, yellow finger? You want that touching you? No wonder y'all running around here with so many STDs. I swear to God, y'all are nasty. Men, clip your goddamn nails. You are not Scarface, bro. And if you are, and you're using your little pinky for whatever little, ice cap, snow melting, adventures you on, motherfucker, go get a spoon and start doing your shit like a real OG. The fuck are you doing? Clip your goddamn nails. Y'all look like some fucking vampire fucking weirdo. Y'all are on that weird shit. I'm telling you, clip your damn nails. You're halfway looking trainee. Clip your damn nails, man. Clip your fucking toenails too. Cutting up ladies' legs and shit. Got me out here dating women with PTSD because they got scabs all up and down their legs because your claws done messed their legs up and shit like a bird. Looking like bird talons. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Groom. Please, groom, gentlemen. Groom. God.
Into hygiene and haircut.
And wash your fucking ass. I think he talks about this shit.
Your haircut and your facial hair need to fit your face. One mistake a lot of people make is they go, I want to look like that guy, and it's never going to happen. And if you don't...
See, I want to look like that guy. Tell me we don't see the women do that. Everybody looks the same. All the black bitches look like cookie cutters. Baby hair, weave, spiders, makeup. Right? Just cut the Krogers. Cut. Aisle 7, aisle 6, aisle 2, the baby aisle, the cosmetics, all of them look the same. Just different sizes. Just take the head like fucking Legos. 2024 black woman. Shit's horrible. Design your fucking edge up. Design your hair. Get your braids. Get your twists. Whatever it is you doing, gentlemen, to look like you. You are not going to be another dude. Stop that shit. Stop that shit.
Know how your look is working for you. There's only one way to find out. I just asked women I was attracted to. I said, what should I do with my hair? And they told me, and I did it, and they liked it. That feedback is critically important for this process of change. I don't know how to talk about hygiene, but I know I have to. I spoke with another dating coach recently, and he said he's basically at the point where he asks his clients, do you wash your butt? Because some of them don't. So I don't know what's going on out there. This is basically my reaction to that. So I want to introduce the concept of perfect hygiene, and I want you to use women as a role model. Women are meticulous. They shower, they tweeze, they blow dry, they moisturize, they shave, they scrape skin off, and they apply makeup, and they do it every day. You should be perfect. You should leave nothing like women.
Okay, that's a perception. That's a perception. Because I've been with some funky women, and we know there are some funky women out there. It's 4K. It's in 4K on TikTok. The ones that admit that they don't wash their butt every day. So this is perception, but we're using this as an example. Okay, so let's say there's the ideal princess. She smell like vanilla and cocoa butter, and everything is shaved right, and everything is done right, and no spiders, no extra makeup, just a little bit of just a little bit of eyeshadow, a little bit of something, the hair, whatever. Okay, right? Just the perception here. Okay, so we're just gonna say like there's an ideal princess, the ideal queen, right? All right, because I've been with some man.
This is the least you should be doing every time you go out. Take a shower, a thorough shower, comb your hair, brush your teeth, put on fresh clothes, don't reuse them, wear deodorant, and bring gum with you. I have recommendations on my Linktree. If you're not doing that, then you probably smell, and that might be why some people don't like you. Imagine if women stank. So that's body. If you can get in shape, dress like an adult, stand up straight and speak confidently, don't run away with your thoughts, and be fresh all the time, then that's going to solve a lot of your problems. Being funny isn't going to matter if you're fat and you smell. Okay, now masculinity, competence, and confidence. Once you look and smell good, then you have to Act like a man. I broke these down in the checklist. Power is an aphrodisiac. That's a quote by Henry Kissinger, and he ought to know. Power is your ability to make things happen or to stop things from happening. It's not enough to just have ideas, you have to be able to make them real. One of the ways we do that is with money, and I mean, God help you there. One of the main reasons I make content is to show how things have changed and men can't really get power through money anymore, which causes women to reject them more. If something is happening to an entire population at once, it's probably not your fault. I'm just encouraging you not to think that money doesn't matter. It does and it always will. I also put the word control on here because power is about making things go your way. Read the 48 Laws of Power. I made these note cards for myself. I might sell them one day. As I put those principles to work and changed the way I think about myself and about how people work, I started taking different actions and the people around me started giving me what I want. It was pretty cool. Status, respect, importance, and dominance, they're all parts of hierarchy, and we're never getting rid of this. Women don't want to be with this guy. If you can't get to the top of a group that you're in, find a group that you can get to the top of. Women might say everyone should be equal, but it's just a strategy. They are still going to rank you as a man. Watch Who is a 10 again. When you have status, you will make weak people feel insecure. You will have powerful friends. It's not enough to be a lone wolf or a nice guy. That's not gonna get you anything. Finally, skills. They can be practical or not. What's important is that you are good.
Hold on, wait. He always throws Easter eggs in there. This guy's too damn fast. He said, wait, being a nice guy won't get you anything. And then he pointed to a line, and I swear the line said skank. Hold on. Hold on. All right, let's go.
And watch Who is a 10 again. When you have status, you will make weak people feel insecure. You will have powerful friends. It's not enough to be a lone wolf or a nice guy. That's not gonna get you anything. Finally, skills. They can be practical or not. What's important is that you are good at something that she values. Women like this more than this, so they like him more than him. Sometimes
That's rude. Y'all like musicians more than y'all like Rubik's Cube guys? That's messed up. That's more racist than Walmart.
that you are good at something that she values. Women like this more than this, so they like him more than him. Sometimes I tell guys to stop playing video games for this reason, and they say, there are some girls that like video games, but that's...
What is happening in my chat? Milani, what do you... What? That's why I be asking, man. You have to clean your fingernails. What are you doing? Why? I've been seeing that, like dudes, like it's not work day. It's not work day because I used to work construction, so it's not the work day thing, right? These dudes be on dates, man, and these dudes just be having like long, ragged fingernails, and these women just. I'm like, what is happening right now? Oh man, Zero, what's up, bro? I'm glad to see you, man. I'm just kind of cracking up right now. Home math is cracking me up. We're talking about self-maximizing, being a better dude. We went through some mental hurdles earlier, and now we're getting to the goofy shit before I shut down for the night. But yeah, I don't know what the hell we talking about out here. This is crazy.
It's bad math. You can't just say someone out there will like whatever I become. If this is how much men and women like video games or Rubik's Cubes or whatever, and you spend all your time getting really good at them, you're appealing to this. For confidence, I put frame and presence. Frame is deciding what's going to happen, sticking to it, and letting her know that you've got it handled. But it also has to bring her something that she wants, which she might not tell you. This is an example of letting her set the frame.
She's like,
you don't know what I want. And then you follow it and she doesn't like it. In other words, you can't just boss her around. You've got to be able to make her life better without always asking her how. Presence is how much you come through in your interactions. These examples from earlier are bad presence. This guy doesn't feel great about being seen, and this guy is running off in his own world. This guy made a lot of decisions about who he wants to be, but they weren't giving women confidence in him. Here's the high status guy from Who is a 10 again. He's saying, I'm awesome, I can make things happen. If you be around me, good things will happen to you. He's not just saying, I like to relax. So masculinity is about being able to create what you want, prevent what you don't want, and then show off that you are the make things happen guy. And that's the entire bad boy axis. Look good and make good things happen. Once you become popular, you're going to have to start treating women well to keep them around. That's going to mean investing value, looking good and making her look good, reserving your investment for her, and tailoring your life to her needs. The bonus galaxy is basically a million little things that you have, but not necessarily that you are. Investment is everything you give her. Time is the time that you spend with her, but it also means the time and money that you're putting on the table. That's why women like expensive wedding rings. It proves that you put in a lot of your time. I gave somebody a handmade Valentine's card, and she liked it more than any of the things I spent money on. Attention is praise, noticing, approving, and appreciating. That means making her
Aw, do you guys like handmade Valentine cards, ladies? I think that's sincere. Aw.
feel like a star. That's why social media is so bad. It makes the attention we give them less.
Me and the wifey play Dr. Mario every night. Oh, freaking awesome. See, you guys are at that apex. You guys are two cool kids that met and two cool kids crisscrossed. Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing. Yeah. Zero, make it be a good guy and get women. Just don't be a pushover or a doormat, and you are good. Exactly. Right, let's go.
Less powerful. Whatever she does for you, let her know you like it. Nice haircut, thanks for dinner, I love the way you blah blah blah. Whatever she likes about herself. I don't think I need to go into money. The more you have, the more they stick around. Energy is how much you are pushing the relationship forward towards when can I see you again and happy end, and not towards you up. You can't be always busy and still have a relationship. If you wanted to, you would. Even if you give her all of that, you still have to be personally close. Emotional closeness doesn't mean crying and
He dropped another Easter egg. Did you see that? If he wanted to, he would.
being weak. It means telling her the deeper things about you, like how you feel about art or a movie that you're watching together. Or it could be something simple like, I love watching this bird with you. This connection has to be there. Presentability is your reputation and how good you make her look. It's kind of like the good guy version of status. It's not how much power you have, it's how likable you are. So status is how much people need you for power or favors or something, and presentability is how much people think you're a great guy. I used to run important events in a city, and people would come to me and they would say, can you do me a favor? I was a guy to know. That's status. I also used to give people free rides around town because I had a car and it was easy. And people would say, he's such a nice guy. It's a different kind of being a guy to know. It's good to have both of these if you can, but it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. So I guess Machiavelli agrees with me that bad boy stuff matters more. Your life should look like this. Loyalty is pretty simple. Loyalty is how much she believes that you're saving all your investment for her. I put dating patterns and closure in here because you can't be hanging on to old relationships. I drew these girls from your
That's a hint, guys. That's one of those moments.
Message.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
past all separated while the guys on the you're saving all your
I'm going to go back. All right.
investment for her. I put dating patterns and closure in here because you can't be hanging on to old relationships. I drew these girls from your past all separated while the guys on the purity box are in a huddle. And then for present, I put focus because she's not going to want to watch you give your investment to other girls. All the necessary words are in the box.
Yeah, gents, if you're looking for something real, it's all about that. It's all about dropping off and closing out the previous relationships. None of this friend shit. None of this friend shit. You know what? There's one very special isolated case, and that is, I may have shared it at some point in time, but there was one very special isolated case that I have a very good friendship with. Other than that, like it's not all that stuff is not happening. It's not happening. There are no female friends. Not happening. I'm not on no rebounds. I'm not on no rebounds. The fuck?
Put a lot of things for the galaxy because it's a galaxy. The reason it's a bonus is because it's not things that you are, it's things you have access to or things that happen to you, like where you grew up or if you have an apartment in the perfect spot of town. For women, this can matter quite a lot. And again, it'll be all about things she likes. So if you're a man, there's a lot you can do to self-maximize. You can look better, you can make things happen. Remember, this guy was popular because he had this. And then once you have
Yeah, guys, remember that guy was popular. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Let's go back.
If you have an apartment in the perfect spot of town. For women, this can matter quite a lot. And again, it'll be all about things she likes. So if you're a man, there's a lot you can do to self-maximize. You can look better, you can make things happen. Remember, this.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Getting all the chicks. Look at that. Ladies. That's what you looking for?
This guy was popular because he had this. And then once you have stuff, you share your stuff. It's simple when you think of it that way. Look good, make good things happen, and share them. For women, unfortunately, self-maximizing is a lot harder because there just isn't as much you can do. Basically, none of this stuff gives you any points, which is why feminism is stupid. You go, hey, look at all the stuff I did. And we go, okay, what do you need me for? And you go, nothing. And we go, okay. And you go, where have all the good men gone? So even though men do
Accurate. Accurate.
harder because there just isn't as much you can do. Basically, none of this stuff gives you any points, which is why feminism is stupid. You go, hey, look at all the stuff I did. And we go, okay, what do you need me for? And you go, nothing. And we go, okay. And you go, where have all the good men gone? So even though men do prefer women who are helpful and financially supportive and reliable, you just can't make up for these other things with it the same way that we can. Again, for women, looks are the most important, and I'm not going to go into detail on female looks maxing. I'm just going to remind you that your looks put a hard limit on which category we put you in. Men usually know right away. We go, this girl could be here for me. This girl would never make it past here. We know just from looking. So a big thing women need to understand is men can make up for looks with effort. Women usually cannot. It's hard to move up, easy to move down. Every guy will value these things differently. For example, I would rather be with a physical 5 and a personality 10 than the other way around, but we just don't work the
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I take a physical 5 with a 10 personality and intelligence, an IQ, fun, emotional bonding, talented. I would take that absolutely. The personality over the body fit, yeah, all that stuff. Like as long as she's into being fit, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Size 8 or less.
the same way as women. If I think you're a 4, for example, you are never getting past here ever, no matter what you do. So trying to earn your way into higher value like a man is not going to work very well. So if you don't want to end up in these lower boxes, your best strategy is to start with the men who like you and then get rid of the ones you don't like, rather than starting with the men you like and then getting rid of the ones who will never put in effort. That strategy is making women spend years and years stuck in here with no chance to ever.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, because guys, again, we'll just look at you and just know, like, if we're just going to hump you or if we're going to want to keep you around. Yep. Or if we're just going to hump you and, like, forget about you. That's down at the bottom. Damn.
Leave. I put modesty under body for women because you usually don't have issues with fashion, except when your idea of fashion is being half naked in front of 1,000 drunken strangers. So the same way that loyalty is how much he reserves his investment for you, purity would be how much you reserve your body for him. I'll get into purity later. So even though your body is the most important part of attraction, your personality is the most important part of forming a relationship. Let's start with interesting. Here's what that doesn't look like. She was asked what she brings to the table.
This is what I bring. So bronzer, powder, my card, lip balm, hairbrush.
So she's basically saying just this. Most women cannot get away with that. Not every woman will need to be financially supportive, but you gotta look pretty damn good if you don't have any of these. Earlier, I told men to develop skills that women like. And you don't need skills necessarily, but you should be able to talk about things he likes. I met one woman in my life who could talk about this book, and I'll never forget her. I put positive here. It seems like a lot of modern women think it's
Hold on. What book was that? A Survival Manual for the Aristocrats of the Soul. Huh. Okay.
book and I'll never forget her. I put positive here. It seems like a lot of modern women think it's admirable to be difficult. Here's what that looks like.
Women aren't in their feminine energy anymore. Yeah, because you don't make enough to provide for us anymore, so we have to get out there in the workforce and be masculine.
That means if I'm doing this, I'm not doing any of these. That's a losing strategy. We live in difficult times. Not very many of you are going to find a provider. We basically have this many women chasing after this many men. Your odds are not good. So if you find someone on your level who needs you to contribute, treating him like he doesn't deserve these things is just self-sabotage. That brings me to supportive. Most households are dual income now. Grow up and deal with it. Most women want a man who earns more, but then
50-50. Shut the fuck up.
and they also want to be paid equally, and the math just doesn't work, as we went over. This woman blocked me because of my response to her video, but in it she said she wants emotional support from a man but does not want to be his therapist. What the hell does that mean? Modern women seem to believe that it is strong to withhold these things when they are actually what we're looking for. Finally, I put sane. I cannot tell you how many women I've met who took out their emotional damage on me from their past relationships and
Preach. Oh my God. Oh my God. My longest relationship was an unhealed woman. My longest relationship was because I was Captain Save-A-Ho, because I hadn't earned my anti-simp card yet that keeps me sane and not a simp. And I thought I could fix people. I'm out here fixing wounded doves, picking up little animals off the side of the street like, oh, little mouse, I can fix you. The fuck? Get therapy, everybody, please. For your future boyfriend or girlfriend, get therapy.
wouldn't admit that's what they were doing. I once had a therapist who told me that women past a certain age were the least likely to change because they wouldn't take accountability.
Hold up. I told you he does Easter eggs. Look, why is the therapist is spitting red pill? I told you he'd be doing Easter eggs. This guy's awesome.
It was a big learning moment for me. Don't ignore these things. Just use the map to self-reflect. Finally, purity. The things on this list are some of the ways that we measure how likely it is that something like this will happen. Pretty important that it doesn't.
Wifey material doesn't define what you're wearing.
This is a powerful delusion. Nobody wants his wife looking like this. And it's
See, again, it's all about the optics, right? It's all about what men see. Like, I see that. I mean, that's just
I know she gon' swallow, she'll go.
So, I mean, I know what I'm gonna do with her for the night. Is definitely not put a ring on her.
Define what you're wearing.
This is a powerful delusion. Nobody wants his wife looking like this, and it's not moving you towards the wife zone. So I've given you a map of what people are looking for, a map to your desires, your ego, and your decisions, and a structure for how to begin changing them. I can't wait to see my feedback.
All right, y'all.
I can't believe.
Pause. You're not part of the show. All right, y'all. That was Homath, and that was self-maximizing. And actually, let me
I can't.
back up.
This is self.
Let's see here. Let's just see if there's any good comments under this one. Yeah. Yeah, bro really said autism glasses twice. Yeah, he did. This dude is literally teaching metacognition, and I'm here for it. Yeah, it is. It's metacognition. It's actually understanding all of the facets of being aware of who you are as a man or woman, because again, he did address the ladies there at the end. So go check him out. Go check out the Homath channel if you are so inclined. Just throwing him some respect. Anyway, that's it for part one. That's it for part one. We covered a little bit about mental health in the beginning, especially awareness and the need for us to look for somebody to talk to outside of the situation that we're in. Then we looked at male behavior and our aggression. There's no answer there. There will always be men that are just pieces of shit. But it is on us to ensure that we are not. I have a very, very clean record with women in my past, women I've been involved with. Never anything domestic, never ever laid a hand on a woman. Got a smart mouth. You better bet that. I'll match your energy. I'll never lay hands on a woman. I think that we as men can do better when it comes to respecting women. When it comes to standing by our families, making better choices with the women that we decide to lay down with and start families with, and standing by those families, of course, making better babies, making better, stronger children for our future, our young men and women, but our young men need it. We see it every day in the news. They need us in their lives, fathers. Let's see. And then we rounded everything off with a little bit of stoicism, looking at ways that one can introspect, look inside yourself when encountering the forces of the world around us, and a better way of viewing yourself in the total picture of the world, and that we shouldn't be idle. We shouldn't be lazy. Every animal's up at 4 o'clock in the morning doing its morning duty to be a natural part of this ever-moving world. And we as humans, the most complex, should be up on our grind. I mean, there shouldn't be anything stopping us. We are here for this. We are built for this. We are men. We should be the leaders. Then we rounded it off with some home math, self-maximizing. Go check out home math, y'all. He's got some funny shit out there. Don't take anything too seriously. And as always, everything is chicken from the bone, right? We just take little bits and pieces. We're not going to find any answers and solve the world's problems. I never, ever aim to do that. But, what now? Culture actually holding himself accountable. Of course. Yeah, it's all about accountability, man. Some animals are just as trifling as people. True that. And vice versa. So to everybody that was here this evening, Professor Lovely Lady, very nice seeing you this evening. Zero. Glad you stopped by, bro. We got Cynical. Oh, excuse me, y'all. That was an unplanned yawn. Got Cynical, Killer, Bronze, Twin. Thank you so much for stopping through. Milani, No News. Glad to see you, bro. It's a Sunday night, so I know folks got things to do in the morning. Rough Hands. It was a first time stopping through, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much for stopping through. Really appreciate it. Who else we got here? Almond Eyes. Hey, y'all. Mona D stopped through. If you're not still out there, Mona D, you had a wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Guap, thank you for stopping through as well, bro. As always, if I missed you, Lando Bando, can't forget you, old high school homie, and Bronze. Yeah, Bronze Flat Power God. If I forgot you, I don't think I did. I think I got everybody. If I forgot you, though, please remember, always big up yourselves. Like, subscribe, team replay. Expect a number 2. We're going to go a little bit deeper into dudes, talking about men's mental health. I'm going to try to get that out before the end of the month. It's not fair for me to not support us in our month. So look for that. Let's see, we got what y'all talking about. Even kittens and elderly can't escape Zero's commentary. Nope, never. Well, I'm glad you didn't red pill rage tonight. Nah, no red pill rage. I did that on my long episode, the 4-hour episode about dating. Somebody, I'm not gonna tell the secret, but I was gonna tell the secret, but somebody made fun of my gray hair and I had to go off. That's all it was. Stop with the grandpa jokes. It's just not funny. What the hell's wrong with y'all? All right, y'all. Have a good evening. Big up yourselves. Peace out.
Nancy feels that a newspaper, any newspaper, has the obligation to deliberately deal with those things which demand public attention. How do you feel about the controversy?
Basically, the fan behaves the same on Joe's suit. When I first turned the power on, or just prior to that, he's drawing 0.6 amps. It goes off scale high for a few seconds, falls back down to about...
The CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite.
Well, first I jumped to 9.
It was a provoking challenge, and nowhere did the challenge provoke more
Averaging a peak, I'd say of about 0.1 amp.
To develop and introduce America's first all-electronic television system.
But Mr. Bishop, this sort of thing is going on all the time. And if something isn't done about it now, someone's going to be